So good.
Oh, God.
Oh, my
Let's
God.
just have a moment to really reminisce on how good that is.
Oh, fuck. It was so good.
We've got Faith from Mirror's Edge, who is good again.
I'll be honest, I didn't really play Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, but she was another strong, she wasn't a Princess Peach, you know?
Yeah.
Took matters into her own hands and broke a lot of necks.
Cashed a lot of checks. You know what I'm saying?
And the OG woman in games, which I think was probably a shock at the time. I didn't even play it because I didn't have the console, but Samus?
Oh, okay. A bit because no one knew she was female.
A she until she was a she, you know?
I believe it was Metroid Prime, I could be wrong, where she took off the helmet.
Yeah, so I always thought that was a really interesting move. Because you don't know.
Well, where do you think this is going to go moving forward? Do you think we'll have more female protagonists?
I do, but I'm questioning whether, like, the sexualization will change much.
Honestly, it's really probably not going to.
And like I kind of understand to a point. Like except like Street Fighter. I was looking at Street Fighter this afternoon, watching people play it, and some of those.
What's that? Is it
designs,
Cammy? That's like just in the onesie.
No, there's like I think Laura was. It was just the boob. It's just so much boob.
There's just a lot of
boob.
boob.
Unimaginable boob.
Chun-Li.
And look, I'm a huge Chun-Li is. Even Chun-Li's alright, because usually it goes... She got the big boobs that are covered.
Yep.
But Laura was one... I think... What was it you said? Cammy or something?
I think it's Cammy.
Yeah, she was just... The butt's hanging out too.
It's the whole thing.
It's the whole kit and caboodle, as they say.
But...
Now...
How many dudes had their shirts off in this game? Is that not similar?
That's actually a very valid point.
That's what I do here. The PS podcast.
And it's the classic the double standards of the equal rights.
What do you mean?
Well, like people will argue that a woman is being sexualized because she has her boobs out, but no one will say anything about a man with a shirt off.
Yeah, that's sexualized. I mean,
you know what I mean?
It really gets me going when a man has his shirt off.
Yeah. I didn't even consider that. That's genius.
So we've really,
but like that's like in regards to Chloe from Uncharted, I appreciate when a character might be sexualized to a degree, but then it is actually part of the character.
Sort of like she's a femme fatale.
Yeah. Well, she legit is. Like,
yeah.
That is the epitome. Maybe not the red lipstick, but the red shirt and the dark hair. And
yeah.
That is a femme fatale. A classic femme fatale.
I'm just going to say it. I'm Team Chloe.
I'm Team Chloe too.
You just gotta be.
But she's just because she's kind of like, just doesn't give a fuck, and like, because she doesn't give a fuck, you're attracted to that. You know?
She really doesn't give a fuck. You know who else doesn't give a fuck?
Lara Croft.
I wonder, is she a good example? Because she's sort of like the original sexualized female figure.
She is. I blame
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, I legit blame Angelina Jolie for that. I am actually referring to New School Lara Croft.
She's
the new
great.
Tomb Raiders, and I feel like that is actually a pretty strong one.
I think that's the way it should... I like to see that kind of thing.
You watch her struggle with some pretty real shit.
Yeah.
Particularly in the first one, because obviously we haven't played the second one, because it's not even out yet.
On PlayStation.
It's not even out yet. We don't...
Yeah, you're right.
It's just not even... It hasn't even come out yet.
It actually doesn't
crazy.
exist until it's in my PlayStation.
Well, like, there's like a very heavily insinuated, like, rape
and you
section.
Know what?
And
this was a huge deal at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone flipped out about it. But if you play it, it's not even as bad as the scene in The Last of Us with Ellie.
Well, that's because she's way young as well.
Yeah, that's a way heavier scene in my mind.
Yeah, that was pretty heavy.
But
she handles it well at Lara Croft.
Yeah.
And she is put in a situation where she has to fend for herself.
Yep.
There's no one to fight for her, you know?
Which is kind of cool. Like, and it's interesting too because... You know, like a man is physically bigger and stronger. And in that scene of implied rape, if you fail the QTE, which is what that is, he kills you. Like, he just snaps your neck. And it's pretty crazy. But yeah, the fact that, like, she'll overcome that is pretty dope.
Now, I've talked to you briefly about Life is Strange. I don't want to say too much because we're about to talk about it for too long after this. But I think, for me, a big problem in gaming in regards to females is there's all these female characters that are being written by men.
Well, is that maybe not just because more men have these jobs, which is inherently...
But that's what I mean. Like, maybe that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
So you've got, like... There's
Amy Hennig.
There's
female
females
writers.
in games.
Yeah.
In the industry.
Name another one.
I don't know her name, but she runs a studio that is escaping me right now. I'm not going to remember it.
Yeah, actually, I can't. I'm not putting it on blast. I can't think of another one.
Oh, she runs a big studio too. I want to say like Ubisoft.
Oh, actually, that sounds somewhat familiar.
I couldn't tell you a name. But I was just saying, because Life is Strange to me had some good points, but the writing there were times it just didn't.
But there were women on the
work.
team.
I get this.
So it's not like a man actually wrote them all.
But it was written by a man.
I think there was a few writers.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't all one guy.
Okay. Because some of it just
Well,
felt... forced is what
I'm actually going to look into that, because I'm sure that's going to be one of your main points for the spoiler cast.
No, not necessarily. It won't be singling out the writer themselves, but the writing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which will
get
maybe
it.
come up. Which is a little sneak peek, and you should all listen to that if you've played the game. If not, don't listen.
Hey, if you want to, if we've failed to mention some of your favorite female protagonists, let us know at the_PS podcast. We are not perfect.
We are not perfect, because if you'll see, I'm going to take the blame, but I did post a poll on Twitter, and I misspelt excited.
It's embarrassing.
I said, who is exited?
It's embarrassing for me. Like, now...
and Twitter won't let me edit it, so now I'm going to feel like a fucking doofus for the next 5 days.
Yeah, 5 days left on that, guys. Go and comment on it and tell Govinda how retard... That's a bad word. Silly he is.
It's cute that you caught yourself on it.
I'm trying to be better.
Well, because usually I just give you a look.
Yeah, I'm trying to be better.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some more. I think things are getting better.
You always play a female when you have the choice.
I do, yeah.
Why?
I don't really... You know what? Okay, here's what it is a little bit. This is probably hugely sexist. I feel like female characters look better.
You sexist, misogynistic
Yeah, what is
pig.
that? I don't even know what that means about myself, but I feel like generally as well in a character where you create... a game where you create your own character, females have more options. And usually they just aesthetically look better. Like, the men are always like these huge hulking dudes, and I kind of like prefer a slimmer character build. I really have never thought... You really make me ask myself some questions that I don't.
Well, I was just always curious, because like it's a pretty solid thing that if there's an option, you do it.
Generally, I will, yeah. I don't know. I just kind of like that. It's very interesting as well, like, interacting with other players, because people either... that was going to be my next question, is when we played WoW, you were a female. That's right.
Did you notice you were getting treated any differently?
Actually, no. Just straight up no. But, like, there's been things in other games where people, like, will ask you, like, are you actually a girl? And be like, no, actually, I'm, like, a dude.
Oh, okay.
Just hanging
That's
out.
fair.
But I've never, pretended to be a woman.
The white whale of the MMO RPG. It's real girl.
It's always a dude. Almost always.
I actually think I saw some statistics about...
Oh, wait, no, I've got one for you. Why don't you play a female, Govinda?
Because I like to be me when I'm in a role-playing game. Because usually it's the role-playing games where you give it the option to choose gender.
But what if the you in question is, like, massive and, let's be honest, you aren't?
No, but it's not about that. It's about me trying to relate to the character I'm playing as best as I can. So
That's
usually,
fair.
usually if there's a size option, I will slim the character down to more resemble me.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll, like, even in Fallout, I wore glasses for the entire game just because I wear glasses.
I did that too, actually.
I had to show you where to get them, buddy.
But I actually played as a male in Fallout. I've got a female ready to go. I don't know
for the DLC.
Yep. And I'm actually super pumped for that. Really, actually, quite pumped.
I'm trying to find stats on female gamers and how many there are.
Apparently it's rising. They always
it's a
say
lot
that.
more than you think.
Yeah. Like, we know female gamers.
That doesn't sound right.
What?
The Guardian is reporting... No, that can't be right. I think they're including mobile games, and that doesn't make sense to me.
Is it 90% female?
52.
Interesting.
Because I remember seeing a figure a little while ago saying, like, maybe, I think it was like up to like 48% of quote-unquote hardcore gamers were female.
That's interesting.
But then it said I'd had another stat adjusted saying, but only 30% of those would call themselves a gamer.
Okay, that's interesting.
So it's like the stigma out in society of saying, yeah, I'm a gamer, and people think you're a fucking loser.
We're pretty cool.
Yeah, but this is actually, I don't want to save this for another talking point.
Okay. What, you...
Because I don't tell people openly that I play games. As much as
you're sort of a coward.
As much as I do.
You're sort of a coward, man. Sort of uncomfortable in your own skin.
Let's leave that as a little sneak peek for maybe next week.
All right, that's actually chill.
If we can try and remember that.
Okay, I'll write it down.
Because, yeah, I don't. Not straight away anyway. Not until I know them.
Interesting.
And then even then, it's bit by bit. Like, Montana was surprised, like, a year in when I'm like, oh, just so you know, I'm going to play this game a lot. And she was like, oh, I didn't realize.
Like, no. I play all of the games.
Well, I would say that. I'd be like, I play games. And she's like, oh, cool. And I was like, no, like...
I really play
I
them.
really play games. Like, if I had told you how much time I'd put into COD, you would be sickened.
Hey, we're not going to play a hate. Do you see what I did there?
Player hate? Placate?
Don't placate. Govinda, this has been episode 22 of the PS Podcast, Australia's #1 PlayStation podcast, hosted by us. Feel free to contact us at _PS podcast and join our Facebook group. Reviewing us on iTunes is also super helpful and it really helps us out a lot. But word of mouth is where it's at, so tell all your friends. Share us wherever you can. We really appreciate it. So until next time, I'm Kale.
I'm Govinda.
Keep on playing, players.